Hi everyone, welcome back to another podcast with The Whole Truth. Today's podcast is a little bit different because I'm trying to work out what the best way to do the podcasts are. So what we did was we went live on the TWT 4.5 page and I played one of the lives that Juliana did back through my computer so that we could all kind of chat about it. The only downside is when people comment, obviously you can't see those comments because when you save it, it's just blank. So I was having to read those comments out to you guys. So we're just going to work out if maybe this is the best way to go, or if we did it on YouTube. Just let me know what you guys think would be the best way. Like we could do the countdown on TWT on Instagram, but then switch over to YouTube so that we can all chat in the comments and stuff, if that makes sense. And then others can see the comments. I just feel a little bit, like it doesn't actually show the comments on Instagram when you save a video anyway. But if I was to screen record it, I don't really want to be giving out people's Instagrams, like their handles on YouTube, just in case people come for them or whatever. Whereas on YouTube, you could have any random username so you could comment. But anyway, I just liked it this way better to be able to chat to you guys at the same time, because then obviously we bounce off each other in the comments. And there's things like that I've forgotten that other people bring up, and I quite like that. I know others said they preferred it that way as well. But just let me know in the comments what you like. Would you prefer Instagram Live, where I do it like this? Or would you like to go YouTube Live where, when we do save it, the comments can be seen? I think the comments can be seen, can they? I don't know. I've never actually done it before. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this podcast, and I will get into it now. Hey, I'm sorry about the delay, guys. I swear, every time I sit down to do a video, one of the neighbours is like, I'm going to mow my lawn. So I went to do it on the other page, and then the other page wouldn't let me do a recording, and then I come on to skip over this page, and I went to start it, but then, of course, we had the neighbour mowing the lawn. But that's turned off now, and hopefully I don't get too many disruptions. But I just thought, seeing as you guys could comment on a live, we would just try doing, listening to one of the lives, doing a podcast, and then saving it that way. So obviously, on the other account, people aren't going to, my kids yelling out to each other. On the other account, people could still comment and stuff, and unless you follow the page, you're not going to see the comments. So that kind of defeats the purpose, because this is on the public page. But anything that's on YouTube, obviously, I'm not going to actually mention names when I do read out a comment. But anyway, so I have a few lives that I wanted to go through, but this one here is an hour long, so it probably actually is a half hour for this video that I saved. So if you're on Ko-Fi, you would have already seen these lives. I've had a heap of people say oh, what is Ko-Fi? I don't understand, because it's not on the Play app or Google Play app. Ko-Fi is not actually an app yet. You can save it to your home screen, but basically what I want to do with the Ko-Fi, the reason for it is whenever I do a podcast and I'm playing the audio, a lot of people want to see the actual video, the live that she did, so you could see the comments and stuff like that. And when I upload it to YouTube, and it's on an open account, and everyone can go and report that. So Juliana, she can send 60 followers to go and report it. Whereas if I have it on the Ko-Fi, if they want to report it, it's got a private link. So when I save it to YouTube, it's saved on a private link, so no one can actually report it unless they've got that link. So they would have to pay the $1 a month for the Ko-Fi membership to get to it. So basically it's just to stop her from sending hundreds of people to report it and have it taken down, because I've had quite a few that have copyright claims, and I know that the main person that's putting the copyright claims in is Crystal, and that's fine because it doesn't do anything. It's not going to have it taken down as such. It just says that if I was to monetize that video, then that money would go to Crystal, and screw her. We don't want to be giving her money for her being a train wreck anyway. But I don't even know if I plan to monetize or anything like that. The Ko-Fi is great because people that do want to see it, and then any funds that we get through Ko-Fi we can use for GoFundMes and giveaways and stuff like that. But anyway, the link of that's in my bio, but it's just if you want to see the full videos, most of the stuff I'll put on the page. But sometimes, like, say if I'm doing like an update video and I go back through all the screenshots, I'll put all those screenshots together in an album on Ko-Fi. So if you want to refer back to it, you can look at it. And those people that don't follow the page, they can just have a look at it that way, if that makes sense. Because I have been removing people off the page left, right, and centre that are suspicious. But anyway, this one is the live from the 5th of January. So, like I said, if you're on Ko-Fi, you would have probably already heard it. But I wanted to play it for everyone else and just, like, get your opinions on it. This was actually before she said that she was, like, it's pretty obvious that she's talking about cheating on Bread. But then at the end of it, she's kind of like, you know, I feel like if I told you guys what I did, you would think it's, like, no big deal and everyone's done it. So it's kind of like you doubt yourself, but then her followers probably would say, oh, it's no big deal. Like, one of the girls on there she said something like, oh, I think you guys said it this morning. She was like, oh, I'm engaged and I'm seeing someone else on the side or whatever it was. So anyway, I'm going to play it. I'll just pause it in certain bits. Just be mindful if you do leave a comment that this is on an open account so people can see it. When it's put on YouTube, you won't be able to see any of the comments because it just, when you save it to your phone, it just automatically goes blank. I really hope I've got enough storage on my phone, to be honest. But anyway, let's just start playing it and have a listen to her.
I'm a person where you want to watch yourself around me because I'm almost going to be too honest. Like, I don't think before I speak. I'm just spitting at the mouth. Like, I don't like to lie. I found myself in a situation where through my own insecurities, through my own anger, through my own toxic behaviors, through my own unhappiness within my relationship, within my life, I ran to things that were self-destructive. I was doing things I'm not proud of, like many people do, but they will never admit to it, okay? I made a lot of mistakes. Now, it's not saying that I deserved anything I went through or that Bread was perfect, you know? But I did a lot of fucked up shit. I had decisions to make, I had choices to make, and I made a lot of wrong ones. Purely out of spite, out of revenge, out of wanting to feel something, out of being self-destructive, out of whatever, being a bitch, being evil. I had a lot of choices and decisions to make, and I made the wrong ones. And then I would lie about it. Or I just wouldn't come clean about it. Or I would keep it hidden away. Or I would let that shit eat me alive. And it's just not a way to live. And like, I'm here to tell you, everyone makes mistakes. All of y'all got secrets.
So at the start of this, I was like, oh, you know, she's kind of like owning up a little bit. I feel like the only reason that she did any of this was because she had to sort of backtrack on what she said about Bread. Because obviously she looks like a damn fool for taking Bread back, knowing she's just said all that stuff. You know, she said that he was abusive, that he like lent on her chest or something when she was pregnant with Cecilia. So she made all these claims about him, and now she's got to like, you know, backtrack and be like, oh, well, you know, maybe he's not that bad because, you know, I did all this stuff. Let me just have a look at these comments. She said, her whole life's a lie. Yes, absolutely. And yeah, she does. She just likes the sound of her own voice. Like, I think a lot of the time if you watch her lives as well, like she pumps the followers up just talking just trash. And that's just sort of like the mentality of her followers. Like, it doesn't matter which way she goes. If she's in love with Bread or she hates Bread, they're going to back her up. And I don't know. But I think she knows that she's pushed it so far this time that now she's sort of got to like come clean. But she's like a damn fool, because if you guys remember, she used to be like, oh, you know, you think you have things on me when the tax lien came out. She's like, if you had things on me, there's plenty of stuff you could find. Like, I could be leading a whole double life. And, like, you know immediately. Like, I remember when she said that, I was like, oh, here we go. Because you know that they want to put that truth out there because they're, like, proud of the stuff they do. So, like, in the next live, she actually says that she was living, like, a whole second life with this other guy, which wasn't really a double life. But, you know, she was obviously dating him, and that she really liked him, and it was this toxic situation. She attracts toxic people. So listening back to this live, and she tries to make it seem like, at the start, like now, but later on she tries to make it seem like it's not that big of a deal, which obviously it is. And yeah, you're right. She made this speech once. She made this speech once a year since she was pregnant with Cecilia. You're not wrong. Absolutely. Yeah, the panty sniffer thing, like, she let Cecilia say that. And, like, you know, there was a couple of comments on that live that I showed from yesterday, like a snippet of it. That was just a snippet. Like, some of the things that Cecilia was saying, like, it's funny, you know, she's roasting her dad, but it got bad. Like, she was like, that's why you can't pull anyone. And it was like, oh my, and you could understand where she's obviously hearing it somewhere, and then she's like, you know, saying it herself. Like, there was something else where she was like, leave my house or something. I can't remember what it was. Actually, I think that was, and that might have been something with Bash. We'll get to that anyway. But, yeah, this is exactly, oh my God, she likes to own it but then do the same stuff over and over. She's done that with, you know, like Becca. You know, she was literally like, I'm telling you now, I was talking to Becca when all that stuff went down, and Juliana was on the, like on a conference call with It Works and with Becca, and she was bawling her eyes out. And then she was like begging Becca, I'm so sorry, like I shouldn't have done this to you, and basically try to like offload it all onto Alexis and say that Alexis was the problem, and you know, she should be, and like pretty much saying that like Alexis should be fired from It Works. Like, it was bad. And then like within a couple of weeks, she's back to blaming Becca again because she was just scared that It Works was gonna, you know, give her the boot. Yeah, exactly. It was weird. That's right. She said she was at the playground in one of them, and that Bash was like at the top of the thing, at the top of the slide, yelling out, "Get the fuck out of my house." And I'm like, I wonder where he might have heard this before. But you listen, like, some of the stuff she admits in this is hilarious because she talks about bread, and she's like, oh, you know, I said things about bread to get to him. Like, I said it deliberately on my lives, hoping that it would get back to him with the hate page. And you know she does this because, you know, she'll get on there and she'll talk about us on, like, obsessively about us on the hate page, you know. She's like, they're on this hate page and they're doing that, and they're just weird because she knows obviously we're going to hear it. So it's like her way of trying to, like, gaslight us. But, I mean, when you're looking at a fucking maniac, you can't be gaslighted by a maniac. Like, someone like this, it's this unstable. Like, anything they say, you can't ever let it weigh down on you, you know? I wish that she drove away. I didn't hear that one. She drove away from Lena in the park. I'm just going to read some of these comments. So she was blowing the smoke from a vape in Cecilia's face a few days ago. When Brett did the same thing to Stella, she made a huge deal of it. That's because she loves the dog and does not like her children. Cecilia's going to believe anything that her mum says. The other kids will probably not like Juliana. Yeah, pretty much. I think, you know, at the moment, like, the way Cecilia, it's sad because, like, Cecilia treats her dad a certain way because she thinks that it's impressing her mum, and she's, like, getting that same attitude, like that show pony attitude, which is really sad. I can't imagine if she went to school telling people he's sniffing her panties. That could turn bad. Oh, can you imagine, though? That would turn so bad. Even, like, to put it on the live, oh, I don't know. I don't even think she should go live, like, if they've got that many secrets like that. But it's kind of weird because, like, I wonder what, you know, that whole thing when she said that Drew made all these allegations against Brett. Maybe Drew caught Brett sniffing undies, you know? Like, who knows? And she was like, oh, they're, like, wild allegations. Like, who actually knows? I don't know. You got the live. If you have it, send it to me. I need to work out a way because a lot of people are sending it to me through, like, Google Documents, and that's great because I can just save it from Google Documents. And then I thought, you know, if I have a link where people can, like, upload it to, I'm going to get all this other stuff on there as well. Like, when I used to have links, you know, people would be like, you're a shit bitch and all this stuff. Like, you just have to scroll through all their crap. So I was like, maybe I'll just get people to put it onto their Google app and then just send it to me. Yeah, exactly. She whines about people telling Brett, but then she just openly admits that that's why she talks about him on there, so that it gets back to him, and it's like a tit for tat thing. Because obviously, I don't know. Was that the one where she was laying in the bed waiting for the McDonald's? Because I got it from, like, just before the McDonald's arrived onwards. So I don't think I have that, but She got home. She said Lena, Bash, and Zin were outside playing with hammers and matches. That's awesome. I can't imagine why anyone would call CPS on her. Like, oh, I just don't get it, you know? Yes, exactly. Juliana's feeding Cecilia to get Brett into trouble, absolutely. How long does she have her kids? Like, the things she does, how... I don't know how she still has her kids. This is a funny thing, too. Like, she goes on these lives, she's like, they called CPS on me because they were saying, like, we were doing drugs. Like, nobody even had to call CPS on you. CPS got called on you by the police. Like, you know, she goes, they rang the police on us. You rang the police on you fucking idiot. You know, and then you went and they called CPS. Like, she leaves that part out. But, you know, people called CPS on her because her child fell in the pool and she didn't get her any help. Like, she should have taken her, either called an ambulance or taken her straight to the hospital. But it was a birthday dinner, so she didn't want to do that. All right. Do you think that Juliana is pitting the kids against Brett? Like, it feels and sounds she's manipulating a future situation? Absolutely. Especially Cecilia. Definitely. So I'm not actually sure how to upload it. So if someone could, like, comment that. I think Abby, if you would you be able to message her and just show her how to do it? I don't actually know how to do it. I just know how to use the link to get it off. That's all I know. Brett is just as bad because in one of the lives, Lena told her Brett didn't take her to the park and he made her cry. Oh, my God. Wow. That's insane. All right, let me keep playing this and let's listen.
Just because you don't go and spew them to 208 people doesn't mean it's not there. I'm here to tell you the truth will set you free. So whatever it is you're dealing with, whatever it is you're keeping inside, whatever secrets you have from your significant other or your best friend or your sister or your mom or your dad, let that shit go. Let that shit out. Like, it was the best thing I ever did because mine was killing me. Mine was killing me. It's not the type of person I am. It's not the heart that I have. It's not. I'm not that person to my core.
Oh, my God. Have a listen to it. Oh, my God. I honestly feel like the only reason she even told Brett was to, like, be spiteful towards him. But to sit there and say, you know, this whole time she's been cheating on Brett, but she's been painting him out to be this monster, this most horrendous person, like he gambles. Like, oh my, if I had to pick between my husband gambling or cheating on me, I know what I would pick. So I'll just go through the comments again. I'm convinced she only likes Cecilia because she's already potty trained and semi-self-sufficient. The other ones require work. Exactly, I believe that too. So she's playing victim because she had kids. Like, it was a choice. She made that choice to have them and they depend on you. Step up. Yep. She literally put herself into the worst possible life ever for views. I agree. Absolutely. Like, honestly, I thought maybe when she went and started this medication that things might be different for her. But the thing is, like, she does it every time. She's like, oh, you know, I forgot to take it for 2 days and I felt great. So I stopped taking it. And look where she's at now, like making the worst decisions of her life. Yeah, this is embarrassing. You had a whole affair. Yes. What heart? Yeah, it fucks me too. She had all these kids and when she was making it works way, now she isn't making that salary anymore and she's stuck with a dozen kids and no money. I went back through a heap of the lives. And honestly, this girl, like with the one where someone outed her about the tax lien and she lost it. She was like, you know, this isn't my fault. It was just an accident. Like I sent $54,000 for tax last year. Like she just, and if you listen, like if you've ever owned a business, you know how much like taxes you pay and stuff. The tax lien amount and the amount that she said that she paid for the year made no sense at all. Like, she was just rattling off figures to try and make herself seem like she's making a lot more than what she was. I think for sure that there might have been, you know, a couple of months where she made $20,000 with the bonuses. You know what I mean? So, like, say if she was making $12,000 a month with, which I'm not saying is bad money, like $12,000 a month is a lot to people, but, you know, when they earn a bonus and it's 20 grand, instead of saying 12,000 plus the you know, however much you get, the extra $1,000 that you get per month, she would have been adding that whole $20,000 on there, because when you get the bonus, they give it to you over over the 24-month period. So it's a 2-year period, it gets divided up. So say it was a $20,000 bonus, she's really only getting, if she's getting 10 grand a month or 12 grand a month, she's only getting an extra $1,000 really, and that's if she keeps maintaining her rank. But the thing is, it works. The way they count that on their, their income disclosure is they'll say that they made 20 grand plus that 12 grand. So it was actually like $32,000 instead of actually just being 1,000 that it is. I don't know if I'm making sense. I've tried to explain this before, but I'm hopeless. But that's the thing with the income disclosures, is we found out that they're actually counting bonuses as a whole, not the monthly amount that you get. So someone, that month might have made, it says they made 50,000 for the month, but really, 40,000 of that's in bonuses and the rest is their pay. So really they're only getting 10 grand plus that bonus divided up over the 24 months. And then, like we just said, if she lost rank, she'd lose it all, which she did. She lost rank. So, I think she might have maintained those bonuses for like maybe 6 months if max, but at the end of the day, it's still only an extra $1,000 a month. It's not what she was claiming. She said, we're making 50K a month. And at first it was 20K, and then later on she was like, oh, back then we were making 50K, but it wasn't actually, 50K in a lump sum per month. It was just the way, she's taking on the way it works to use it to sell it to distributors. And this is the thing with It Works as well. Like, I know some people make good money from it, but what makes me so upset is the fact that these distributors, especially like Juliana, that they're taking advantage of people under them that make no money, but what they don't realize is they're actually the main customers. Like, they're the ones that have to buy however much BV or whatever it is, like that volume, that personal volume they have to buy. They have to pay that each month to be able to qualify. Like, they don't realize that they're really like compulsory customers, which is what really makes me sad. And I love the millionaire claims. It cracks me up. It makes me laugh too, the millionaire claims, because, and I've done TikToks on that, and it makes me cackle, because she's like, I am a millionaire. I'm not self-proclaimed. I'm a millionaire because, my company said I'm a millionaire. I'm in the Millionaires Club. Your company, the Millionaires Club, means that you and all the people underneath you have made $1 million for It Works. That's all that means. It doesn't mean you made $1 million. It doesn't, but they just carry on this scam, and it's so sad. And it's, the problem is as well, you have so many people, there's someone on this thread here that's left now, and love it a bit. And she was quite a high, not as high as what Juliana was, but she earned very well and pushed herself to the max for it. And the thing is, you're getting orders from someone from above, and you're getting told how to sell it and stuff, and half the time you don't even realize that it's being scammy because you're thinking that they're actual facts. The income disclosure, when you're sharing the income disclosure, most people had no idea that's how it works. I feel like Julia just keeps putting people under. Probably people like Julia. Julia, she, people are like, what the hell, how are you friends with Juliana if you're a good person? But they've worked together for a long time, and could you imagine if they had a falling out? Juliana would just try and rip her to shreds. I think she'd just lose anyone though, because most people respect Julia. I didn't realise Drew still lives with her, but he was there last night. Yeah, Drew's back there. She had a massive hissy fit because She had a massive hissy fit because she kicked Drew out, and then her mum let him go and stay with her, and she just cracked it. So, and then he's ended up back there again. I feel like Juliana wants to believe that Drew, she's the only one that can save Drew and that no one else can help him. And when someone does step in to help, she would rather complain that nobody helps. But when they actually do step in to help, she loses it. It's very weird. They have a very strange codependency. And the bonuses are split up and can be stopped at any time. Exactly. So even if they are saying they make 30 grand, effectively it's probably 12 grand plus the $1,000 from that 20 grand, and then it gets divided over those months. So it's a really scammy way to put it forward. Yeah, my favourite claim is she's a millionaire. It's so ridiculous. She maybe made 10K in a good month, and that was the base of her team. Yeah, absolutely agree with that. I think that 10K in a good month, and then the rest she was just counting those lump bonuses that she wasn't actually getting all of. I mean, how many times did we see Sierra do that? Sierra did that a heap of times. She was like, oh, I got another bonus. And, yeah. I feel like the It Works products is like meth gives you the shakes. Look, I have tried, I won't lie, I've tried all of them. Well, not the recent stuff because I just gave up on that shit. But I remember back when I fell for Becca's victim mentality when she was like, oh, I'm in a shelter and this and that and I need more sales. I fell for that shit. I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad for her. I actually bought $400 worth of product, which like Australian dollars is like $600 worth of product, because like I messaged her and I said, how much you need for your sales? And she said it was that much. It was like $400 worth. And I was like, fuck it, I'll just put it in for her, because she was like, I'm getting out of this shelter or whatever the fuck she was staying in at the time. So I spent a heap of money. And then even after I spent it, she was still on there going, I need more sales, need more sales. And I was like, huh, what? And then I realised exactly what was going on, that she was using that, like she'd probably already hit that mark and was just continuing on to put people in for like next month or whatever it was. It was like end of month. And I was like, this is really scammy. But I tried it all. I tried like, you know, the creams and stuff. I feel like everything is way overpriced. Like anything that you can buy from It Works. Granted, the wraps I quite liked. But, like, they're not going to make you lose weight. They're just going to, you know, it's basically just water weight that you're losing. So, yeah, I mean, they're good if you were going to go out. Like, if you were going for a swim or something and you want to wear your bikini, you could probably wear them. Like, put it on beforehand. And I feel like, you know, that it does what it needs to do. Sorry. It does what it needs to do. But, like, it's not going to make you lose weight long term. But then, like, you know, the hair, skin and nails, you can get the exact same products for much cheaper at, like, the pharmacy. So, any of the other stuff I didn't really... I don't think I even used any of the creams and stuff I got. I used the wraps, and that was it. Juliana would hold giveaways for a bag for our team if we placed orders. Yeah, that's crazy. And I know a lot of people said that... with the bags and stuff, that they didn't actually get the bags, because like this last lot of orders that she did, I don't know if she got caught up in that whole thing where they were confiscating them at not quarantine. It's almost there, it's coming, you know, I don't know, but they, like, I feel like maybe she was a part of that, and it wasn't that she meant to rip people off. But then I'm like, oh, maybe she did just rip people off, and said that I feel like, you know, for the girls that work for her and stuff, that she was definitely ordering the bags, but then for some other people she was taking the money and not ordering the bags maybe. I don't know, who knows. But I did get a lot of messages on this account to say that they hadn't received their bag from Juliana. So a millionaire crying about her spouse being 3K, make it make sense. Exactly. At the end of the day, like, if you know, she's like, oh, I didn't even check my account because everything's on auto pay, blah, blah, blah. I think the only reason that she keeps getting back with Brett is because she's terrified that Brett's going to turn around and be like, she's so full of shit. This is not true. We never made this much money. Like, I think he'd just spill the beans. What do we got? Sorry, my freaking nose is just running. All I could think of is a fake click in teeth. Oh my God, that was gross. I need to read through some of these comments. Sorry. Yeah, it's hard. I didn't see how much of a scam it was, so I took a step back. Most people are like that. Like, it's very hard to see. I think it's great that there's a lot of YouTubers at the moment doing the story about, you know, everything that's been going down. Like the people that are leaving and they're becoming... like Jessica Hickson, for example. I think that's awesome, because a lot of them are afraid to. I know that there's been some people that left the company and they've gotten, you know, like gag, like cease and desist and like gag order things sent to them pretty much. It's crazy. Brett cheated on her too, I think. Yeah. She actually says in this that she made up the whole thing about the girlfriend. But I think that's just a way to like make her not look like a fool to her followers, because Brett was definitely seeing someone in between. Drew's a drug addict and problem. He wants something to complain about, but he's perfectly acceptable as a babysitter when she wants nails on their 7-hour-long hair appointments. Exactly. You know, we've heard her say many times she doesn't want him in the house because he's, like, you know, a danger to her kids and stuff like that, but yet he doesn't mind them. Like, she doesn't have a problem with him watching them when she needs to go somewhere. He's obviously not in recovery. He goes to jail every other month. Yeah, I seen a video the other day that he did. It was alive yesterday, and he just looked, I don't know, he looked off his guts. I thought Brad came home drunk last night. I don't know what his deal was, but he's got, like, these big, long nails in the live, and it's kind of weird. But she, like, sort of makes fun of him and says that he thinks it's cool or something, and I'm like, the only time I've ever seen people with fingernails that long are those that tend to put things up their nose that don't really belong there. Maybe that's challenge you. I wouldn't want to live with someone. Let someone in active addiction live with me. Who's to say they won't bring substance into my home? No thanks, I have kids to protect. Exactly. You can love your brother as much as you want, but you wouldn't, you know, you'd have to, especially after how he left that garage, the state of the garage, you would think that he would be very supervised, and I would never leave my children at home alone. As close as she is with Drew, there's no way in hells of hell she's on attic with him. I have thought this before. There's been a few videos that she's uploaded in the past and deleted later where she looks like she is off her face. Let me just... I wish that when you save this, like, it did save the actual comments, but it doesn't. So that kind of sucks. I do need to grab my charger, but what I'll do is I'll start playing this again. So listen to some more of this.
I could no longer walk around keeping those secrets and being that person and trying to justify it by saying, you know, I did this because this person hurt me first. It wasn't right. It doesn't matter what the fuck somebody does to you. That wasn't my heart. That wasn't my character. And it was destroying every aspect of my life and my mental health and my well-being because I knew it wasn't me. So I came clean about it. And I'm sure you guys can put the pieces together without me having to say it. And you'll never get the full details of what happened because there's no reason for that. But I'm not going to allow one other person in this world to walk around and feel like they have a one-up on me or they have any power over me when I can say I was evil, I was nasty, I was downright fucking disgusting in some of the shit that I've done in the past. And regardless of what was done to me, my husband did not deserve that behavior from me. Despite anything he's done. It's not me as a person. And if I was unhappy, if I was angry, if I was abused, if I was hurt, I had the decision to walk away. And I never did. Instead, I wanted to get even. I wanted to cause pain and destruction. And guess who I hurt the most? Me. Me. And my marriage, which affects my children. Big lesson learned. And then I spent years trying to hide it and ignore it. And then the first of the new year was the perfect opportunity. Everything came crashing down. And I said, you know what? I'm not living like this anymore. I'm going to out myself. I'm going to tell on myself. And I'm going to give my significant other the decision of how he wants to move forward. And it was so needed. So needed on both sides. Yep. Yeah. And like, it's okay. I feel like so many people, like, for myself, I was like,
Sorry guys, I just had to plug my charger in.
Yeah. And like, it's okay. I feel like so many people, like, for myself, I was like, I'm not the toxic one. I'm the hurt one. I'm the one that's been hurt my entire life. And I have been hurt my entire life. Like, I was abused my entire childhood, severely abused. Like, I have a lot of trauma to heal from. And I was hurt by almost every person that I've ever loved. So in my head, I'm like, well, I'm acting this way because these people deserve that. And not realizing that, bitch, you are becoming everything you hated. You are picking up traits from those that you want to be nothing like. And you are walking around hurt.
So someone just then said, I don't think she cheated on Brett, and someone said, I don't believe that either. Her parents abused her. I wonder, like, I'm a bit torn on it because I think to myself, well, you know, maybe she just said that to Brett to, like, get at him because, like, he was seeing other people, and she was like, well, you know, I've been seeing someone all this time. But she does say later on, like, his family know and stuff, and I do wonder if maybe she had been cheating, because let's just rewind back to, like, a couple of years back. Remember when she was sending those messages, and there was a message that was in her, when her and Brett had that big fight, and he'd gone through a phone or something, and he found, like, a message that was in her others folder. And, like, as you know, like, if someone sends you a message, it goes to the others folder, like, if you haven't read it yet. But also, if someone's messaging you and you delete those messages, you can hit ignore and they will automatically go back to that others folder. Even if you've had a conversation with them, it'll go back to the others folder. And she was gaslighting Brett, because Brett, during this video, he was like, but they said, hey, you're going to be wherever it is tonight. And it looked like, and she was like, it was in the others folder. I've obviously not been talking to him, and, like, just try to make him look like he was crazy. And she was like, do you know what you're doing right now in front of these people? And I don't know, it just seemed like super gaslighty. But the way that Brett read it, like, he knew, like, he said, oh, but the conversation looks like you've deleted the conversation or whatever, because it was, you know, it was like they'd been replying to each other, and then she'd wiped all the messages, and then there was that one message. But you can do that by going ignore message. Like, I've had friends that are no longer friends that I've done the exact same thing, where I just put them in that when ignore, and it puts them into the others folder, so that you don't get those messages anymore, and they don't know that you're not getting them, but it just goes into there. So I think that's what she's done there, so that when he messages when Brett's around, she's not going to get that, but she can also go in and search for that, if it makes sense. So I feel like he was onto something back then. So, and this is someone I think that they went to school with, or they used to hang around with, so that's kind of shitty. But I think, like, even back then, I could tell that Brett was onto something just by the way that she acted, and she tried to gaslight him, told him he was stupid, like, and she was like, do you realise what you're doing right now? Like, she was trying to distract him from what was actually happening. Like, you know, there's however many people on this live, and you're accusing me, and you're going through my phone and stuff, and it seemed like a total distraction. So I don't know. And also, like, would she really admit to it on her live, knowing that his family would be watching this, because they already hate her? Like, she says she only likes his grandma. I'm pretty sure the grandma wouldn't like her either. And I feel like maybe she only just came out with this because she might have got caught, or the family knew about it and they were going to blast her, and she thought she wanted to have the upper hand before, like, we found out first. Could you imagine if we found out first? So I think she thinks by giving the story that she's got the upper hand. Yeah, she may have talked to someone in DMs and not met them or fucked around with them. That's true. Like, that might have been the case. I can't imagine. I don't know. Like, this is her, so she does some wild shit. We know that. So I can't, like, as a normal person, I can't imagine admitting to something like that if you hadn't done it, unless you are just, she has to be super narcissistic and hurtful to do that. She likes being in control, absolutely. Yeah. She really backtracks things. I think she outed herself because she always made him look dependent on her, and he's not. Yeah, yep. He don't give a fuck, as he should. I feel like they're made for each other at this point. I used to feel bad for him. Yeah, I've stopped feeling bad for him as well. He's stupid. I mean, they're both equally as sly, so if she did cheat, I bet Julia knew and went along with it without regard to Brett while he was home with the kids. Yeah, she knew. She says that she knew. I feel like if she was faithful, it would be something else she could hold over Brett's head, like she's better than him. Yeah. That's so true. I can't see her making up terminal illnesses for followers. I don't know. There's a lot of things I didn't imagine Juliana would do, but she's really shocked us this year, I guess. I think she's just been on this slow decline, and now it's just, like, really speeding up, you know, to get to the bottom. I don't know. But let's listen to some more.
Hurting people in the same manner that you've been hurt. And that's not what God wants for you. That's not what you want for you. That's not what you want to set for your kids. You know? So it's just like realize it's growth. It's fucking growth. And everyone makes mistakes. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be crucified and being like, oh, you know, like, you're so fucking terrible. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone. Like, don't beat yourself up over it. I just had a decision to make. Like, bitch, come clean and stop being a piece of shit and move forward with your life, or continue being a piece of shit and you can't ever feel sorry for yourself again. You can't feel sorry for yourself if you're making moves like that. So, was it a secret or just something gradually that happened? It was me being shady, me doing
And then Julia just writes,
things that I had no business doing.
where is it? She writes, it's our first go at life and none of us get it all right. Get it all right all the time. So, yeah, she's kind of defending her there.
I was hurt. I would run. I would want to feel something. And it just spiraled. It became an addiction for me. It became an addiction. I got high off of doing the wrong thing. So, exactly. So it's not ignoring any of the other red flags or, you know, toxic things that happened within my marriage. It's not ignoring that. It's putting everything out on the table and saying, this is me, this is you, this is what I've done, this is what you've done. These are the problems. We can face them head on and fix them and, you know, make a positive out of the situation. Or we can have everything out on the table and say, the damage is too much, let's walk away. So, we don't need another one, baby. We don't need another one.
So right now she's just talking about Bash, because Bash has got like all the fragrance things for the car and he's like opening them all and hanging them everywhere. He's so cute.
Exactly, Juju. Like, that's the way I look at it, is I beat myself up more than anybody ever could, you know? Okay, that's the last one we need, because I'm going to get a headache. He just put another air freshener, that's the third one. I beat myself up more than anybody else, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are the same way. So it's like, you just have to set yourself free. Like, you're a human being. You're going to make mistakes. There's going to be people that think you're the worst person on earth. And question your decisions, but at the end of the day, you've got to live with you know? So that's the realization that I had, and like, my best friends had been pushing me to free myself for a long time, and I didn't because I was scared.
So there you go, Julia and Terry-Ann, they both obviously knew that she'd been cheating for this time. So she hasn't actually forwardly said that she was cheating, but like I said, in one of her next lives, she does.
Scared and I was selfish. You know, well, how is this going to affect me? And when I finally did it, I realized what they were talking about for so long and how good it felt. I love that. Change is certain, growth is optional. Yep. There's a lot about me that, you know I have to change. And when you become self-aware and you start realizing these things, you don't really have excuses anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, stop, babe. When you've gone through things and you've been hurt, it makes sense to say, well, she's only doing that because of this, you know? Or don't mind her. Like, she reacts to these things because of that. But when you're self-aware and you know when you're self-destructing, or you know when you're being hurtful, or you know how to avoid certain triggers so that you don't behave that way, it's on you to take responsibility and say, I don't want to live like this anymore. I know better. When you know better, you do better. So, okay, you are touching way too much. I don't know what you're touching at this point, baby. We're going to be driving down the street with all the lights on. Stop. You're not supposed to take them out of the pack. That makes sense because it is so strong. No, you like crack the back open. But then they're ugly that way. Only open, yeah. Like, I'm like, I have a headache and I know it's from the air fresheners. Yep, exactly. What if someday I got my own podcast? You know what I'm saying? Y'all can learn from my mistakes because they hurt real bad. So if I can help you avoid what I've done. But no, like I was saying earlier, like, I'm just the one to be like, hey guys, this is it. This is life. Like, we all make mistakes. I'm a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit too. You don't have to go live and say that. But a lot of y'all, like, you can comment right now and be like, yeah, bitch, like.
You can see here as well, like, I just seen Julia put a thing saying, like, $5 close friends entry or something about the podcast. And I wonder if she's referring to the Ko-Fi, even though the Ko-Fi is $1, but whatever. I wonder if she's actually referring to that. And it makes me think they spend a lot more time obsessing over the page than they probably should. Let me just read some of these comments. There's been a couple of comments saying that people are thinking that maybe she's been using drugs, like her and Bread. And honestly, I feel like that's probably a possibility. I don't know. Like, I don't really know much about bipolar or anything like that, except for the fact that I know that this girl should really be on medication. I think she said she took it for 2 days and then she forgot to take it, so she just stopped taking because she felt fine. But we can tell, obviously, she is not fine. Like, you are not fine. But there's been, like I said before, there's been heaps of pictures that she's uploaded and videos where Drew's uploaded where she looks like she may be using something. And I don't know, maybe that's just her when she's, like, having her manic moments. I don't know. But I really feel like she needs to stay on that medication, and I'm scared to know if there's going to be another pregnancy next month, perhaps. I don't know.
I've done things I'm not proud of. I don't have to say the exact situation. I don't have to air my personal information out. But I'm not going to be the person that's be like, hey guys, like...
Spoiler alert, she actually does air it all out in the next live anyway, because you know she can't help herself.
I'm perfect. You know? I feel extremely guilty for a lot of the shit I've said about Bread. Even though that was my truth, knowing that I was hurting him too. Knowing that I was probably a big trigger for him too. And, like, he has opened up about his mental health. And, like, I always knew that Bread was on medication for anxiety and depression in high school. And me being selfish, I never took him seriously because I said my mental health issues are way worse than yours. And because he was better at masking his and bottling his emotions, I never felt sympathy for my own husband, even though he was battling things that I knew what they felt like. And I would trigger the fuck out of him too. And had no care in the world because I was selfish. I was selfish. So I feel really bad. Really bad. Because I would weaponize my social media against my husband to feel better about myself. And that's just the truth. I would get on here knowing it was going to get back to him, knowing that my haters record everything I post and post it on their pages and Brett goes and watches it, trying to humiliate him because it made me feel better about the pain that I felt like he was putting me through. And
so there you go. She just admits openly that she weaponized her social media against Brett, and that she would say all of those things about Brett knowing that it would get back to him just because she wanted to hurt him. So that is, yeah, she's really trying to preach it. Someone said, and the thing is too, with, like, you guys were like, you know, she probably doesn't do it with Bash. Like, this here is, I have 3 recordings that were, I think, 30 minutes worth, right? And this kid, and there's been parts edited out of that, and that kid has been sitting in this car the entire time. with nothing, like he's just playing with the little air fresheners and stuff. But that's a long time to just be ignoring your child for while they're sitting in the back of the car. But so this just goes to show exactly like everything that we've said about Juliana and the way she like, you know, she gets on there and she'll talk crap about us because it's her way of hoping she can like shame us into like not having the page. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, they're so weird, and like I think they're in love with me, and I think this and I think that, and like meanwhile we're all like cackling laughing because she's so delusional. But that's the reason why she does it, is because she thinks that she can gaslight people through her social media, and she can talk this stuff like as if she's talking to her followers, but in actual fact she's talking to us. Or she's, you know, when she's bad-mouthing Bread's family, she wants them to hear that. She wants them to hear, because she's got no way to say it directly to them. So this is what she comes up with.
And that's evil. That's not right. And I realized that. And I realized it a long time ago. So I'm not perfect. Do not look up to me as if I'm perfect, because I'm not. And I am woman enough to be able to admit that.
Someone just wrote in the comments, and it says, damn, Bash, where'd you get all that dough? Because Bash is in the back of the car, and he's got all these dollar bills and like a $50 and $100 bill in his hand, and he's just walking around the car, so she's not paying any attention to what he's doing at all.
I'm not in therapy. This is a lot of like praying, talking to God, and just becoming more self-aware. Yeah, he keeps stealing all my dollar bills. Yeah. And like through the conversations me and Brett have had, like he's brought up things I've forgotten about and been like, this really hurt me. And I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me? And he was like, well, wasn't it obvious that you were hurting me? And I'm like, it was obvious, and I didn't give a fuck. And I need to apologize for that. I need to change that. So we both, we're not perfect. And there's no one that's perfect. And no one was worse than the other, but we're to a place where it's like, all right, you know, it's 75 here. Everything's out on the table, and we both decided, like, I feel like when you come to a position where you could lose the other person, you know, it's easy when you're mad and you feel like someone's not going anywhere. Like, I always felt like I had the upper hand, right? Because I never came clean about the shit I was doing. Never. Never. Like, y'all know I'm a player. I had 7 boyfriends when I met Brett. I know how to play men. I eat men for a living. Like, I'm not going to tell on myself, right? So I always had the upper hand. I never felt like Brett was going to go anywhere until I was like, it's time to grow. It's time to, you know, put your own faults on the table. And by you coming clean, this man has every right to say, I don't want anything to do with you ever again in my life. I never felt nauseous talking. That night, I thought I was going to barf all over the place. And when you get to a point, for both of us, where we were like, for a hot minute, it felt like there's no saving this. I think that's when you realize just how much you love somebody, and your entire life with them kind of like flashes before your eyes. And the memories and the good times and what you've built. And you realize, like, you know, if you love somebody enough, like, you can fix whatever the situation is. Or you can go start over with somebody new. And neither of us want to do that. So, but somebody said earlier, before the phone cut off, was, what about his new girlfriend? So that status the other day, he didn't have a girlfriend. He said that. But no girlfriend ever showed up. And he was just trying to get under my skin. And that was honestly supposed to be a funny status, but his entire family went apeshit on it. They all hate me. So they want me dead. Yeah, it's great. Like, and what's funny is, like, my followers, my Facebook friends and Insta friends, y'all were on there, like, laughing, having a good time. His family was going ham on me. Like, I was like, damn, where's all this coming from? Can you...
So, that just goes to show. So, I don't know, like, we know Bread was definitely talking to some girls. Like, that we know for sure. Like, how far they went, I don't know. But to sit there and, like, make that status, like, even, I think in a bit, she's like, we were sitting in the car laughing about it, like, her and Bread were laughing about when she put that status up. So, I don't know, like, do her followers just feel stupid because they're being misled all the time to believe this crap? Like, I just wonder how they feel going through these ups and downs that are bigger than what her ups and downs are, because she makes so much stuff up. Let me just read some of these comments. Sorry. Now, someone said, I personally know Julia. I feel like Juliana has her in so deep. Julia is a good person and she's a good mum and good friend, but Juliana has her so tight, which is sad. You know, this is the thing, and this is where I struggle. I struggle the same as other people do, I guess. Everything that I see of Julia, like, I think she's so cute. She's so sweet. She's a fantastic mum. Like, I cannot... From what I've seen, I mean, we don't see heaps. From what I've seen, I think she is a really great mum. And she's like, you know, she treats Juliana's kids better than what Juliana does. What people fail to understand is how can someone with such a great nature be friends with Juliana unless there's something wrong with them? You know, like, that's how they look at it. And I always thought, you know, Julia's a great person, but then part of me wonders if maybe she's just better at hiding it than what Juliana is. Because I do recall, like, when all the It Works stuff started happening and there was people coming from It Works to my page, and there was one girl I recall who had used to work with them, and she was going through a miscarriage or something, and so Julia was like, I'll come and get you and you can stay with me. And so she did, and she felt, you know, like she was being cared for, and she said she stayed there for a couple of weeks, and she, you know, they just vegged out and watched TV or whatever. But then afterwards, when this girl went home, everyone started talking and saying, oh, she wasn't really pregnant. And when it was traced back, it kind of traced back to Julia, because Julia was like, you know, my cousin was pregnant, like, is pregnant, and this girl does not look pregnant. Like, she's definitely lying. Like, she's lying. I don't know what the conversations were, but, you know, the way it was projected from Juliana and everyone else was that Julia had claimed that this girl was lying because she didn't look as pregnant as her cousin, which is absolutely ridiculous. Because when I had my first child, I remember I went to a wedding and I was like 6.5 months and I barely had a bump. Like, everybody is different, especially when it comes to, like, a first child as well. So I think that was kind of shitty for her to do that. And I don't know, like, if, you know, it was a small story that Julia has spoken to Juliana, and then Juliana is the one that's twisted it. But at the end of the day, this girl felt awful. Like, you know, she went there, she thought she had someone that was supporting her and caring for her, but she was actually talking about her behind her back. So that kind of makes me not so sure how I feel about it. She might keep a good face with her so that she can appeal to Yuli's fan base. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I know for right now, It Works is her main stream of income, so it would be a little bit self-destructive if she was to hate on Juliana, because look what Juliana does to anyone that leaves the company. So Julia is a different person when it comes to Juliana. I can only speak from my experience, and Julia was the only one who had my back even when Juliana was coming for me. Yeah. Look, who knows? Like, that whole thing that happened with you in the last couple of, what was it, last week or whatever, that was like the biggest setup I have ever seen from Juliana. Juliana doesn't give a fuck about Julia or who's coming for her. It was because she needed a reason to come for you, and the reason she had was not good enough. And so she thinks that making one up about Julia is the way to go. And honestly, it just makes her look stupid. But she goes on there and she just blasts people. You know, look what she did to Becca when she went on there and said, oh, Becca was saying that bread touches our kids. Becca never did that. Like, you know, I'm not a Becca fan. After everything went down, like, she can kiss my ass. But she was definitely not in the wrong in that situation. Becca did nothing wrong. Becca did nothing wrong when her nudes were leaked. You know, that is, like, everyone will sit there and say, you know, she's got, and I agree, like, Becca does have that victim mentality, but that whole thing fucked her up, and the way she was treated by Julia and Alexis was disgusting. Like, Alexis is just a pig, I think. She knows what Jason's like, she knows it, and I feel like Becca and Jason did actually have a relationship, and that's just how he spun it to Alexis, and Alexis just takes that because she's like, oh, well, you know, can't really get anyone else. I don't know what they're even doing together. I don't know how anyone could be with her, honestly. She's weird. I'll just start over again. If she was already with someone else, I don't know. So there were the 7 boyfriends before or after the rape she was talking about the other day. I haven't even got to that one yet, and I can't wait to get to that part of it. I'm having major issues with my phone at the moment with the storage, and I'm like, and that's why I had to, I have the Google apps, the Google Photos, but it doesn't put the big lives on it. So I've got a heap of stuff on WeChat that I need to save, and then I've got stuff on the Google one that I need to save, and I have a phone with 1 terabyte on back order, but I've just got to wait for it to come. So at the moment I'm juggling everything. I will have KindMaster, I will save all the lives to my phone, then I put it into KindMaster, and then I've got to put the KindMaster onto, and I have to re-download the YouTube app to move that over, and then delete the KindMaster. It's a fucking mess. It's such a mess. I cannot wait for this new phone to get here, but they're on back order and have been for a while, so I've just got to try and, she just keeps making all these lives, so I'm trying to catch up with them.
Y'all stop. We're laughing. Bread was in the...
So what happened was, it says, what's happened? I'm confused. I left my phone going while I was playing with my son. What part do you mean with this live? So with this live, Juliana is saying that she has been leading a double life with Brett. Well, actually, she hasn't admitted to that yet, but she said she's made mistakes and she was doing things way worse and whatnot. But she hasn't actually told them, hasn't actually told them yet what she's been doing.
The trunk of my Jeep. I was taking the kids to the vape shop, and he jumped in the trunk. He's like, I'm coming with. During that status, we were laughing. But, yeah. They've always hated me. This was their opportunity to really come at me full force. They finally got a little bit of info so they could jump the bandwagon and never have to like me again. But I don't care because it's my life. So, apparently, when men do things, it's okay. Let a woman do it, and it is the end of the world. If you catch my drift. If a man does it, you be strong, love bug. You ladies be strong. He's just a man. But let a woman do something, they wanna burn you on the stake. They want to burn me. I'm a witch in their eyes. I'm a witch.
So basically she started off the entire beginning of the story trying to act like she's taking accountability, and now she's sort of it's not that big of a deal.
So we'll just say that. No, I don't know. His grandma doesn't hate me.
Grandma probably does hate her, but she's just trying to keep the peace to see those babies, No,
she doesn't. But, I'm damn, tell me how you really feel. Time heals all.
And if you read these comments, this is all of her followers are the same as her. My in-laws hate my guts. My boyfriend's parents hate me. So all the people that are sort of on her page and defending her, they're all the ones sort of in the same position. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you if you don't get along with your in-laws. But I mean, even those people that don't get along with their in-laws, they've probably thought back to times and thought, I probably could have held my tongue in this situation just to make it easier for my husband or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm sure everyone's had their in-laws say something to them where they're breathe, and they don't say anything back because it's really not worth a lifetime of arguments. Sorry guys, I don't know what happened. I had a phone call try to come through a couple of times, so that might be why we lost it. So I thought, well, I'll just save the last live video on the page, and then that way I can go back and hopefully post it. I I'll just maybe try and put the two videos together and then post it on YouTube for other people to listen to that missed it. Not sure what actually happened. But anyway, I will, where are we up to now? We're about 18 minutes. It's about a 30-minute video, so I probably had to stop it at some point anyway so I could save it. It didn't let me save to my phone, so it's probably because of my memory. But I just saved it to the page and I can sort it out later. But let me just play some more of the live.
Period. Fix it, don't break it. Right. Juliana for prison 2022. I'm trying to tell you. I'm like, damn, y'all can't show me any kind of grace, any kind of mercy. Like I told them, I was like, y'all don't know our relationship the way we do. Like, y'all are being weird. My family's not all in my business. When something goes on with me and Brett, they're not all in our business. It's like, y'all are adults. Figure that shit out. Like, they don't know the ins and outs. They don't know every detail. And I'm like, y'all are acting like me and him were happy. Like, in what universe? We were miserable as hell. Miserable. Thank you. Yep, exactly. So we'll see what happens. Brett started a new job today, so that's exciting. That's exciting for him. My baby daddy's grown up. My baby daddy's grown up. They'll come around. I think they're just being very protective over his feelings, but it's like at the end of the day, he's going to do what he wants to do. And like, you can't insert yourself into relationships. I feel like that's why a lot of y'all move the way you move with me. Like, y'all are like, well, what wave are we riding today, Juliana? Like, are we on the we like bread wave or are we on the we hate bread wave? Like, because y'all know you're not going to come in here and be like, Juliana, this is what you need to do. And if you don't do this, you're a piece of shit because, like, you guys respect me enough to respect my decisions and you don't want to go say some off-the-wall shit and then tomorrow me and him are in love and y'all are like, well, I just cussed this bitch out yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, learn your place. Like, let people be dumb. If you think we're dumb, I think we're dumb too. We're growing. Like, if we don't want to be apart, we're not going to be apart. If we're meant to be apart, God will take us apart. Okay? Like, let people be dumb. I'm 29 and I still don't have this shit figured out. I've been with that man a long time. There was a lot of things that were keeping us from being great. That wall has been broken down. I feel good. Yeah, like, and nobody wants friends like that. That's why I love y'all so much. That's why I feel so comfortable talking about this shit and like sharing my life so other people can learn from it, because I know that I have such a supportive group of women that are.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but what sort of friends would you prefer? Would you prefer friends that were like, no matter what you did, were like, yeah, no, you get it. And, you know, even if they knew it was like a toxic environment for you. Like, I understand wanting friends to always support you. Like, I've had friends that have been in domestic abuse situations and, you know, no matter what, I'll always support them. But I'm not going to sit there and go, oh my God, you guys are so cute together. I'm not going to do that because that is not what I'm like. I'm going to be like, you know, are you sure you're making the right decision? I am worried for you. I'll support you no matter what you do. But I feel like this is a mistake. You know, like, that's what you want from a friend. Do you want your friend, like, that will let you go out wearing an outfit that's absolutely hideous? Or do you want a friend that would just, like, nicely point you in the right direction? Like, you don't want a friend that's going to be like, ew, like, you look fat in that. But you don't want a friend that would, you know, think a certain way and then not say anything to you. You know what I mean? Because then, I don't know, that's just the way I am. I would rather have an honest friend that points things out to me. Someone else, they can't hear anything. Should be able to hear now. But I would always want that friend that's going to be honest with me. Like, always support me and always be that person to, like, pick me up. But you always want that person that's going to support you.
Like, we've all been there. Like, I get it. Like, you know? And no one's sitting here like, hey guys, like abuse is fine and being toxic is fine and cheating is fine and lying is fine. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying that shit's fucked up and it's gonna ruin your life. Come clean, work on it. If you want to save your marriage, these are the things you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to come clean. You're gonna have to have some really hard, uncomfortable, nauseous fucking conversations. And then you're gonna have to decide, do I love this person enough to work it out, go to therapy, go to counseling? He wants to go to counseling. He wants to go to therapy. He wants to do everything we need to do.
So someone just said, my friends tell me the truth. They support me, but still tell me I romanticize my relationship with my son's father, who's a narcissist, and has he of I don't know what you meant to say there, but substance abuse when I cried over him. Yeah. You need to have, I mean, like, with my friends, like, I always understand why they went, like, even when I was friends with Crystal and I used to talk to Crystal all the time, you know, I understood why, well, I didn't really understand, but, you know, she kept going back to Matt, and I was like, you know, this is a bad idea, but, like, I always supported her when she went back, because at the end of the day, no matter what you do, it's not going to change someone's mind. They're just going to keep doing that behaviour. But you shouldn't sit there and make it out like it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I would always say, like, I don't understand why you're getting back with him, but, you know, if that's what you choose to do, I support that. And then in her own time, obviously, she worked it out. But the problem is with Crystal, she only knows toxic. So for her to be shoved to the ground when she's holding her baby in her hands, that's just, you know, to her, she's like, oh, this is a good reason to get married. You know, like, you just can't help people that have only known toxic from the start, because they don't understand what a healthy relationship is, and especially if they've, you know, she said she grew up with a dad that was always drinking, so, I mean, she's probably not been taught the best, you know, what a loving relationship is. You know, she hasn't really known any better. History of is what I meant. We're not together, but I cried when I walked away and they kept my head out of the clouds. Exactly. You need those friends to remind you, like, why you don't want to go back. And if you do go back, you know, they're still going to love you and support you, but they're going to tell you you're doing the wrong thing, you know?
To get back to friendship and then fall in love again. Find our love again. It never left, but, you know, on a romantic level. Alexis. And Chelsea's like, yep, I'm keeping my mouth shut. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And like our biggest problem was communication, which comes down to respect as well. There was zero communication. Zero. We got to a point where it's like, you've got me fucked up, I've got you fucked up, and we're moving funny from here on out. Instead of just talking, working it out, getting to the root of the issue, and fixing it, it was like we were playing tit for tat for years. And that's not good for anybody.
And it's so ironic, like, she goes from going, this is not good, tit for tat, and they're straight back to it. Like, this live was taken on the 5th of January, okay? And we're only, is it the 17th now? Well, it's the 17th here anyway. And they've literally been broken up and then back together twice in that time. So they break up again. They did, but then it seemed like last night they were back together. I don't know. It's so confusing. Yeah, what a thing to talk about with your 4-year-old in the back seat. There's been a couple that have been like this where she's had the kids in the back, and some of the stuff that Cecilia was saying to Brad yesterday, like, I think we talked about this in, like, one of the threads, but, you know, it started off being funny, but then it just got to the point where it was ridiculous. Like, she was saying to Brad, like, that's why you can't pull anyone, because you know, you're this way, you're that way. It was just absolutely ridiculous. Like, you know, it started off sassy and funny, and then it got to the point where it was super bratty. Someone said something before, maybe she didn't blast their business online then people wouldn't be in their business. We only know everything because she told us. Exactly. That's exactly right. The fact that she kept still having children during all this is mind-blowing. Very selfish to keep bringing children into that toxic as fuck of an environment. Into that toxic an environment, okay? I feel like Yuli just recites the self-help book she reads but doesn't apply it or even understand what it means. Yeah, I agree with that too. But, you know, like to sit there and say he dragged her around when she was pregnant with Cecilia, that he was like, you know, leaning on her chest as she couldn't breathe, and then she just keeps having more kids because, you know, that's what brings the followers in, I guess. And, I mean, this is a person that rates her success by how many followers she has. It's all that matters to her.
Also, period, dude. Like, there's really little... In my situation, I feel like if there were to come a time, which there probably never will because that's just weird to, like, get that into detail with y'all. But I think that even if I were to be like, okay, guys, this is what happened, this is what I did, a lot of you guys would be like, that's not even that bad. What? That's really how I feel like you guys would take it. If you...
So that's pretty crazy for her to say. Like, you guys would be like, that's not that bad. You know, it's not a big deal. I don't know where it is, sweetheart.
Yeah, but it's not in the car.
I don't know. Sorry, he's just looking for a switch. Don't know where it would be, actually. Yeah, but, like, you know, she's saying that they're not going to care, that's not that big of a deal, but obviously, you know, it wasn't, like, she's gone from one live saying it's not that big of a deal, and then the next live she's saying she led, like, a whole double life with this guy. So, I don't know if she's, like, embellishing the story now, or what the deal is, but... I mean, even then, her followers probably would be like that. They'd be like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal, because they just kiss her ass, and they're all just so toxic that they don't understand what a normal relationship is. It's just terrible. And yeah, someone just said before, she was asking him how much money it would take to punch him in the face, and I have that live, and that is no word of a lie. She really was doing that. She was like, how much would it take for me to punch you in the face or something, and then they were kind of like having this little argument, but it just stuff, even the way she was treating him, like, you know, for someone that's just gotten back together, you'd think you'd be, like, putting some sort of an effort into speaking nicely to each other, or, I don't know, like, but she just always puts on this front in front of her followers. It's really sad, honestly.
You knew every ounce of the situation, you guys would be like, but that's not even that big of a deal. But for me, it's the principle, and then it's the little lies that become big lies, right? And when you're talking about a marriage or this bond that you've created with someone over a decade, those things matter. Those things matter. And when you're somebody like me, where, like, I'm a very honest, truthful person, lying about the small shit eats me up. And then I sat there wondering why my mental health was in the shitter. Why my marriage couldn't get right. Why we couldn't get along. And it's like, at one point you gotta look in the mirror and be like, bitch, you can't live like this any longer. I know. Be like,
so there's a comment, you don't see Brett getting on live or social media blasting anything, it's all her. I wish he did, though. Could you imagine if he did? It would be like entertainment of the century, because the shit that would come out would be unbelievable. Like, I feel like he has remained so respectful to her at this point, when really he could be blasting her.
All right, y'all, I hit a body last time. You guys, where? We'll go hide it again. Yeah, so... It's not, I didn't do anything where y'all would be like, I'm disgusted by you, Juliana. It's not like that. It's just like, there were things that I had to come clean about. There's things that I've done where, like, damn, bitch, that was savage as fuck. And I wouldn't want that done to me, you know? So it's very freeing. Y'all are real, though. So... I'm sure everybody has done the same. I'm going to say that, especially if you are dealing with the same things I've dealt with. Y'all know we're a little, we like to feel thrills, you know? Being bad feels really good. That's what I'll say. Being bad feels really good. So everyone makes mistakes. But can't live with them, can't live without them. Yeah, it was an addiction for me. What I was doing was an addiction for me. I knew y'all had. That's what I said. I'm just the one to say it. Like, hey guys, like, it's time to set yourself free. Baby, get in your seat. It's time to set yourself free because,
Now, someone just said here, poor Bash is so trained to be ignored and keeps himself busy. My son would have snacks, toys, and be bored as fuck crying to get out of the car if I did this. You're not wrong. Like, he actually does start crying in a little bit, and you'll hear it on this video. Hold on.
we're not built like that. We're not, as human beings, y'all, we're not built for, your face. What are you doing your face, babe? 100, babe. Y'all, look at this boy. In a 5, you get the dollar bills, okay? Don't look at me like that. Baby, that's a lot of money. Don't cry. Don't cry, honey. Damn, was it your dad robbing me or you? Don't cry. We'll go get ice cream, okay? Let's go get sissies and then we'll get ice cream. Oh, damn. Yeah, he's about to cry. You got $155, baby. I love you. He said, We'll go to McDonald's. You got enough money to buy everybody ice cream. I know. First thing the girls are going to ask for is, can we go to McDonald's? Yup, we damn sure can. Anyways, y'all, I love you guys. Learn from me, please. Make this shit worth it. Make this shit worth it. No, things are good. Like, I just feel like I feel good. Today's a good day. And I love you guys a lot. And this year is going to be better for a lot of us. Okay? We're going to make it better. Bash really doesn't like Chick-fil-A. My kids are weird. They really don't like Chick-fil-A that much. He is so good. He's the best. But, babe, what did you do with my charger? You put it in there? You put it in there? He's so sweet. I see. Yeah, like, I feel like that's why anybody likes Chick-fil-A, because it's just popular. Because is it really that good? Their ice is good, but McDonald's is it for me, y'all. I'm, like, addicted to McDonald's right now. Anyways, I don't want to leave, but I have to. I have to go get the girls from school. But good talk. I love you guys so much. So much. Wish me luck. I got a lot of shit ahead of me, all right? I'm out here fighting for my life, for my marriage. Hopefully it works. I would hate to be on here in a week being like, all right, y'all, we're back on the bread ain't it train. We're back to keto. But
yeah, so that's exactly where we're at now too. So they broke up again. I think they're back together. Who knows at this point? Like, it's just become ridiculous. But that's the end of that live. I'm trying to toss up to do where that, because it's so much better doing a live where I can actually chat to you guys and like see your comments at the same time. But it's kind of a bit of a nightmare to put it onto Instagram because obviously on my other account I'm now blocked on lives. But I was thinking of maybe doing a countdown on my story and then just put the link there to like a YouTube live and just go live on YouTube so that everyone can still like comment. So those of you who have accounts can still comment underneath it and like interact as we listen to the other live, because the next couple of lives are actually pretty pretty full on, I guess. I've got one where she's like talking about how she was leading that double life and whatnot. And then I have that one yesterday where Cecilia is just like roasting the crap out of bread. So I'm hoping if I do it that way, you guys will be able to come on to YouTube, or at least a couple of you will come on YouTube and just chat with me on there, just to make it a bit easier so I don't have to re-record it to put it on YouTube, if that makes any sense. But anyway, I've got to go and get these kids some lunch. They're like wandering around my table stalking me, so they obviously need something to be done for them. But I'll finish posting after lunchtime, and then just see if I can get these lives to save so I can put them on YouTube, and if not, we might have to do like the lives on YouTube. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to work out what to do. I don't even know why my other page's story is not working. It's really ridiculous. I don't think I've even tried to go live in forever, so there's obviously someone on there reporting again. But that's okay. I'll go through and just check the backup page and start accepting more people so that we have a page to start with, if that is the case and it is getting deleted. But yeah, I feel like YouTube would be a good place too to go live, because then you can have whatever username and people probably aren't even going to know it's you, as opposed to, you know, they can't really go on your YouTube and find much about you, whereas on Instagram they obviously can. But that's it for me anyway, guys, and I will chat to you guys on the page when I finish doing the subs. Alright, bye.